Hey there, I'm Tony Nicola. Welcome to the Uplift. We got a great show for you, a great cast of characters as well. Among them, these, a man who made millions creating and selling companies, but one single dollar made perhaps the largest impact. Plus, a family celebrating a quintessential graduation, 5 people crossing the stage for their diplomas. And a couple who fled Ukraine and are now sharing a taste of home with their new neighbors in beautiful Minneapolis. Plus, a maestro making history at not 1 but 2 symphonies. And go behind the scenes of Sports Illustrated's 60th swimsuit issue featuring a very familiar face in these parts. And finally, David Begnaud tells the story of a sweet gesture from college students that got even sweeter. You know what you're watching? The Uplift. Hey there, welcome to The Uplift, the show that lifts you up for at least the next 30 minutes, you and me as well. And we begin with a story from a man who built and sold several companies worth hundreds of millions of dollars, but it was one single dollar that made the biggest impact on him. Steve Hartman has our story.
Inside Buckfeather, an outdoor sporting store in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, we met a great American success story.
Because it's about you.
At 42, owner Matt Busbus and his partners have built and sold several outdoor companies worth hundreds of millions. But Matt says he's never felt richer than he did the day he got the dollar.
I haven't had that much faith in humanity in a very long time.
He says it all began about a month ago.
It was early morning, and the fire alarm was going off inside his condo complex. So Matt shot out of bed and raced down the stairs, only to discover there was no fire. But he's awake now. So even though he was wearing mismatched clothes and all disheveled, Matt decided to go out for a cup of coffee.
And as he was about to enter the shop, he remembered he hadn't done his morning prayer. So, as the security camera shows, Matt stepped to the corner of the patio.
And I start to slowly open my eyes, and there's a kid coming at me about my height.
And with his fist clenched. So Matt prepared for battle.
And he goes, and reveals a dollar bill. And I go, what?
If you're homeless, here's a dollar.
This is 9-year-old Kelvin Ellis Jr.
I always wanted to help a homeless person, and I finally had the opportunity.
Kelvin says he had just gotten the dollar for good grades. It was the only money he had to his name. Matt was so touched. He invited Kelvin in for a snack, connected with the boy's father, who was next door, and promised to stay in touch.
What's up, dude?
As a reward for his kindness, Matt gave Kelvin a shopping spree. 40 seconds to pick out whatever he wanted in the store, including a new bike. Kelvin says it was great, but definitely not what he wanted to get for his dollar.
What were you hoping would come from that?
Joy,
Joy?
because I helped someone. Give something away, you feel like you got a lot of things from it.
If you give, you're actually going to get more out of that. I couldn't grasp that as a kid. And if we can spread that around, everything changes.
$1. So well spent.
Cheers to friends forever.
Steve Hartman, on the road
Amen.
in Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
Thank you very much, Steve. We're going to turn now to a behind-the-scenes look at Sports Illustrated Swimsuit Edition, which is celebrating its 60th anniversary. And this year, the issue features a very familiar face. Hi, Gayle King. Here's Meg Oliver.
Beautiful. All of you, this is stunning.
Christy,
Love.
Tyra,
Yes.
Kate,
Beautiful.
Gail,
Oh, that shoulder, yes.
Martha.
Gorgeous, gorgeous. Because you know I like color. This ain't your dad's Sports Illustrated.
It certainly isn't.
Own it. Gorgeous, right there.
Own it.
This is the 60th anniversary of the iconic Sports Illustrated Swimsuit Edition. And this year, it's unlike any other, from the gowns to the models, thanks to Editor-in-Chief MJ Day.
Gorgeous, guys.
What are you hoping to achieve with this historic cover?
I want the world to realize that Sports Illustrated has evolved into such a far more wide-reaching, powerful vehicle of change.
Over the years, the issue has transformed to include women from sports, news, and entertainment, representing different races, ages, and body types. From the magazine's first transgender cover model, Lena Bloom, to Halima Aden, the first woman wearing a hijab, and this year, our very own, Gayle King.
Everyone, Gayle King in the house!
Meg, I honestly thought when I heard that Sports Illustrated wanted to talk to me that I was being punked. Of all the things in my life, being a model is not one of them.
Happy, Gayle?
Yes.
Gorgeous.
The swimsuit issue made its first splash in the winter of 1964.
It was sort of the dead period after football ended and before hockey started, and they needed some filler.
The late SI editor Julie Campbell came up with the concept and for the first time printed the models' names with their pictures. A game changer for legends like Christy Brinkley.
When you first graced the cover in 1975, what did it do for your career?
The Sports Illustrated cover is such a huge get, and you are introduced to the other half of the population, the men, and all of a sudden I had a name. It's great for your career.
For so many years, the only people who graced the cover were skinny white women who were barely wearing anything. Why did it take so long for the magazine to put a woman of color on the cover?
I mean, I think it took a long time for the world to think differently about what was being, spoon-fed to them.
Tyra Banks broke that barrier in 1996.
What impresses you most about the evolution of this brand?
Oh my gosh. Think about it. Decades ago, I'm the first Black woman on the cover, and that
1996.
was... Okay, thank you for the number, because I don't remember. That was like, oh my God, a big deal, reverberated around the entire globe.
As the swimsuit edition evolved, did you lose readers?
Definitely, but we didn't care. We thought that the right reader would come along with us, and the wrong ones we didn't want.
Do you think you were able to change some people's minds along the way?
Definitely.
At the end of the day, it's still the swimsuit issue, but the key to success for Sports Illustrated is evolution.
Listen, there's a lot of swimsuit photos in this issue. We're not short on swimsuits, but I really like the idea of having all of these women come together in a way that was different for us for once. We're living our best life. We're not afraid, we're not embarrassed, and no one's gonna stop us.
Meg Oliver, CBS News, New York.
And coming up, another celebration, another milestone anniversary. This one celebrating someone very cute and animated. Can you guess? All right, and later in the show, David Begnaud is going to revisit college students working to help kids in wheelchairs and find out how their cause continues to make an impact.
The work we're doing is not only extremely important, it's very inspiring to people. And it shows them that they actually have the power to change their environments, to provide more independence for themselves, and to really affect change in their communities for relatively modest amount of work.
Years ago, Sanrio introduced the world to Hello Kitty, which has become, of course, one of the most recognizable and beloved cartoon characters in the whole wide world. Well, to celebrate Hello Kitty's milestone birthday, CBS Los Angeles' Lori Perez talked to a fanatic with a jaw-dropping collection.
All right, let's take a look. Okay, come on in.
When I say your jaw is about to drop,
we just have to put booties on?
I mean, your jaw is about to drop. This is a booties required, custom-made, temperature-controlled Hello Kitty heaven. A she shed on steroids for a floor-to-ceiling collection of how much?
That I don't know.
Safe to say, tens of thousands of Hello Kitty collectibles. Everything from keychains and cosmetics, kitchen items, stationery, handbags, knickknacks upon knickknacks. Superfan Helen, who for safety prefers not to share her last name, says this is what started it all back in 1976.
That's the eraser I think that I became that started my obsession.
She's one of California's, if not the country's, biggest collectors of the Sanrio company's superstar animated character.
I'm what you call an everything hoarder. So
she won't even estimate how much money she's spent, but she says it's all worth it. Helen has been feeding her passion since the late 80s. And on this, the 50th anniversary of the creation of Hello Kitty, she's reflecting on what it's meant to her over the years.
People say that Hello Kitty is for little kids. No way. No way. Sanrio knows what he's doing, and I think he knows that it fills us, it fills our hearts.
No explanation needed for her crew of fellow fanatics. They call themselves the HK Babes of Southern California, a Facebook group of hundreds, always dressing the part. They paint their nails, they ink themselves. Not everyone has display rooms like these, but they're working on it.
How often would you say that you are looking for stuff?
It's on a daily basis. It's on a daily basis.
In Riverside County, Lori Perez, KCAL News.
Thank you very much for that. Coming up, families across the country, well, they're attending graduation ceremonies. It is that time of year. They want to honor their loved ones who have completed their studies. Well, one family in New Jersey had 5 reasons to celebrate. Here's Meg Oliver.
Victoria Isabella Piera Povolo.
Victoria Povolo was not alone as she received her degree. She was joined by her brother, Vico, and their sister, Ashley, and their brother, Michael, and their other brother, Marcus. Not only are they siblings, they are quintuplets.
My heart's racing right now. It feels awesome to walk across that stage, especially with these guys. It's awesome.
We caught up with the Quints backstage as they got ready for their big day. The Povolos are from Totowa. They weren't sure they could even afford to go to college.
So when Montclair State gave us the scholarship, the full ride scholarship, it was a no-brainer. If we were able to all go to college together, it was a no-brainer.
They've been buddies since birth. After 22 years together, it kicks in. This might be the last milestone they get to share together.
It's been fun, so yeah, it's going to be hard to separate.
It's believed this is the first time in New Jersey history that quintuplets have all graduated from the same college on the same day. As they made their way into the commencement at Newark's Prudential Center, the excitement takes over.
I'm shaking. It's electric. There's so much energy in here. I'm super excited.
The 5 Povolos get a shout out during the commencement. Their mom and dad filled with pride.
It's such a big emotion, very overwhelming.
At the end, they turn the tassel and cue the confetti. And they can't forget a hug, or 5, for Mom. In Newark, Nick Calloway, CBS 2 News.
Thank you, Meg. Coming up, they woke up one morning to explosions and had to flee their country. Now they wake up and they've got a new home and a mission to spread love through their new business. Plus, we're going to introduce you to a trailblazing conductor inspiring musicians and audiences at 2 symphonies. We are now pleased to introduce you to a couple who fled Ukraine and is now bringing a taste of home to Minneapolis. Here's CBS Minnesota's Kirsten Mitchell.
Inside this small rental kitchen,
this is extremely hot.
Polina and Vlad Lahoda are bringing a taste of home to Minneapolis.
In Ukraine, bread is like breakfast, dinner, lunch, whatever. Yeah, very traditional.
Back in Ukraine, Vlad worked in IT and Polina in aromatherapy, but the couple had to flee their home in Kyiv after the war began.
So we woke up at 5 a.m. to the explosions, and we packed up, and we left in 2 hours, never been back since.
A longtime friendship with a Peace Corps volunteer drew them to Minnesota, where Polina's passion for baking is now Vlad's too.
When I bake something and give it to someone, it's about I share my love with this person. Yeah. And now, as we can share this love with such a lot of people, and it's really something incredible.
Together, they started Heaven Gluten-Free Bakery.
This is traditional white sourdough. This is the same bread, but a flavorful version with caraway. This is cranberry and pecan, and this is chocolate cherry.
All their bread is vegan, gluten-free, and made from natural ingredients.
We came here and we could not eat bread. we just felt so bad because it's very different from Europe.
Polina also has an autoimmune disease and is gluten-free, but they say their bread is for everyone.
Gluten-free foods, yes, can be delicious, very delicious and very nutritious and good for our body.
Despite the financial challenges of starting a business and scaling it up, the couple feels blessed to be here and to share their loaves made with love.
We're very grateful for the opportunity to feel safe. You don't know how important it is until you lose it. And the people here are absolutely incredible.
In Minneapolis, Kirsten Mitchell, WCCO News.
We introduce you now to a trailblazing conductor who's breaking down barriers at New York's Metropolitan Opera and the New Jersey Symphony. Here's Nancy Chen.
New York's Metropolitan Opera sets the tone as one of the world's most prestigious stages, and conductor Xian Zhang is helping to shape its sound. The groundbreaking maestro born in China made her guest debut earlier this year, one of the first Asian American women to lead from its podium.
Do you hope to inspire other musicians?
Absolutely. In the U.S., only about 1 in 4 music directors are people of color, and even fewer are women.
Do you think it was harder as a woman, as a person of color?
The double standard? Oh, absolutely. But to be within this group, one also has to learn how to grow from it and give yourself the space to make mistakes. It's okay.
Experience Zhang passes on while also leading the New Jersey Symphony in her 8th season as its first female music director. And as she blazes a new path, Zhang hopes the music itself strikes the highest note of all. Nancy Chen, CBS News, New York.
Coming up, how students at Tulane University are building a life-changing tool for kids in need and how that inspired even more people to pitch in and help. Stick around, you're watching The Uplift. David Begnaud has an update now on a story about students who built wheelchairs for kids in need and did it for free. Can't get any sweeter than that, right? Well, this story has aired, and since we visited them again, well, it's only gotten sweeter.
This is a story about a small chair, but it's got a big impact. The kind of chair that gives mobility to children with disabilities. Meet Jackson. He's a 4-year-old boy from Covington, Louisiana. He has dystonia. It's a condition that affects his muscles. And he has a developmental delay. He doesn't walk or speak.
When they offered you this wheelchair, was he mobile at all at that time?
No. Elizabeth and Brian Fabregas are Jackson's parents. They say after 8 months in that chair, Jackson has been able to sit up on his own. And now he's moving around independently.
So it gave him a more ground level view.
Yep, that's what made me happy because it's like he's included with everything.
The parents say that the toy-like chair has been wonderful because it created a playful experience with Jackson's older brother, Brody, and has been the bridge from not walking to now using a walker.
Okay, so give us the report card. How would you grade it?
It's an A+. It's helped his development.
Now, meet the man at the front of this creation, Noam Platt. He's an architect in New Orleans who heads up an organization called Make Good. They focus on assistive technology, the kinds of devices people can't find in the commercial workplace or can't afford. Platt came across the design for the chair on an Israeli website that lists open source information for developers like him.
We can go beyond what's commercially available. We can really create almost anything.
But what he's created has turned out to be way more than Noam Platt ever imagined when I first met him in New Orleans.
I didn't quite expect the magnitude of outpouring after the story.
And that's where viewers like you come in. Since our story aired, more than $40,000 in donations rolled in. And of course, Platt knew immediately what he wanted to roll out, because he had also heard from nearly 60 families who saw Jackson's joy in our report and wanted to see it on their kids' faces. Plus, something even more priceless happened. Volunteers who saw the story said they wanted to help build these life-changing chairs. So Platt put some to work. And with his team at Tulane University, they've built all these chairs, about 25, in just the last 5 months. Look at little Ellie's elation. The smile on Theo's face.
You can do it! Come on!
And just imagine what little McKenna might be thinking.
Each of those chairs, they cost $200 to make. We're actually working on bringing that price down to about $50.
And by this point in the update, you can't be surprised that Platt didn't stop there. When an injury prevented Seth from playing guitar with his dad, Platt pulled a few strings and created this custom guitar pick. And this innovation put the drums within reach for Cole, who has cerebral palsy and really wanted to play like his favorite band, the Foo Fighters.
The work we're doing is not only extremely important, it's very inspiring to people. And it shows them that they actually have the power to change their environments, to provide more independence for themselves, and to really affect change in their communities for a relatively modest amount of work.
David Begnaud with the big swing, bat and cleanup for us. That is our show. I hope it brightened your day. I hope it lifted you up. If for some reason it did in those reruns, they remain free. Press play again. I'm going to find some good news.